That going. Now record. Sweet. Okay. It is 10:31. We're gonna get started here. I'm gonna call the February meeting of the Cape Fear Rural Technical Coordinating Committee, RTCC, to order. I believe that we have quorum, but I'm going to go through the roll call all the same just to verify. And if I don't, I'm only going through the voting members and alternates. So if I don't call your name at the end of it, if you'd kindly put your name and organization in the chat so I can make sure that's properly reflected in the minutes, I'd greatly appreciate that. So for the roll call, Helen Bunch, Mo Meehan,
Present.
Jeff Rep, Nicole Morgan. I saw you in the chat, Nicole. Your mic wasn't working. Present, gotcha. Matt Kirkland, I think he told me he wouldn't be available today. Gary Lanier, same situation, I think. Dylan Bowen.
Here.
Bridget Spann.
Present.
Quick question for both Dylan and Bridget. Do you have a preference of who I roll call as the voting member today? I know you're both alternate for Gary.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, I'll do Bridget. So on future votes, that's whose name I'll call. Okay, where was it? Robert Lewis. Robert, I thought I saw you on the call. Oh, sorry, I forgot to turn my video on. Jason Robinson, I believe he just sent an email saying he couldn't join. Josh Ward. I'm here. Present. Madison.
Hey, Sam, it's Robert. I'm here. I was muted.
Hey,
Sorry.
Robert, I got you.
Hey, man. Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. It's all good.
Josh Ward here.
Josh, I got you. Thank you. Let's see, Madison Ward. I do not see Madison. Adam Moran. Justin Brantley. Amy Kimes.
Here.
Ron Meredith.
Here.
Doug Shipley. I believe he had a conflict. Rob Taylor. Adrian Cox. I see you on the participant list. Philip Hart.
Present.
Nazia Sarter.
Here.
Jim Rupkalvis. I don't see Jim. Greer Templar.
Here.
Elizabeth Tucker. I see you on the list, Elizabeth. I'll mark you. Yvonne Hatcher. I don't see Yvonne. Joy Jacobs. Tricelle Merritt.
Present.
Thank you. Oh, I see you, Elizabeth, that your mic's not working. That's okay. You can put stuff in the chat, and I'll keep track of everything. Stephanie Ayers.
Here.
Stephanie, did I hear you? You sounded quiet.
I'm here.
I see you. It's hard to hear you, but I see you're on there. And then Sam Boswell, I'm here. Okay, we're good. We got quorum. Let's roll call. So the next item on our agenda is to review and approve the agenda. Does anybody have any corrections to the agenda or any questions about the agenda? If not, I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved. This is Mo.
Okay, I got a motion from Mo
Second.
and a second from Robert. Any other questions or discussions on this item? Okay, seeing none, I will roll call the vote. Mo Meehan,
Yes.
Nicole Morgan. Yes, in the chat. I see you. Thanks. Bridget Spann,
Yes.
Robert Lewis,
Yes.
Josh Ward,
Yeah.
Amy Kimes,
Yes.
Ron Meredith,
Yes.
Adrian Cox, Philip Hart,
Yes.
Nazia Sarter,
Yes.
Greer Templer,
Yes.
Elizabeth Tucker. Yes, I got you. Tricell Merritt,
Yes.
Stephanie Ayers,
Yes.
Sam Boswell. Yes. Okay, did I miss anybody? I see it. Helen, did you join?
Yes.
Okay. We just did a roll call vote on approval of the agenda. Do I have you as a yes?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Moving right along. Next item is approval of the minutes. The minutes from our October meeting. Kind of crazy that we haven't done this in 4 months. Those were included in your packet. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. Otherwise, I entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I make a motion to approve, Sam.
Okay, I have a motion from Amy
Second.
and a second from Helen. Any other questions or discussion regarding our October 2nd minutes? Okay, if not, we'll roll call. Helen Bunch,
Yes.
Mo Meehan,
Yes.
Nicole Morgan. Thank you. Yes. Bridget Spann,
Yes.
Robert Lewis,
Yes.
Josh Ward,
Yes.
Amy Kimes,
Yes, sir.
Ron Meredith,
Yes.
Adrian Cox, Philip Hart,
Yes.
Nazia Sarter,
Yes.
Greer Templer,
Yes.
Elizabeth Tucker. Gotcha. Thanks. Tricell Merritt,
Yes.
Stephanie Ayers,
Yes.
and Sam Boswell. Yes. Good stuff. We'll keep on going. Next item on our agenda is public comment. I did not have anybody reach out in advance of the meeting with any comments. I don't know if we have anyone online that has any comment. Now is the time for that. Is there anybody that has any sort of public comment that would like to take some time and speak up? Seeing none, we will keep on going. Next item on our agenda is another just purely administrative thing. At the beginning of each year, the way that our roster is, and this is according to the TCC bylaws, our county and municipal reps from Brunswick, Columbus, and Pender County actually specifically the municipal reps, are on 2-year terms. Um, and so at the beginning of each year, we have a voting member and an alternate whose term has expired. And then we need to either reappoint them or select new members. And within each county, that's left up to the decision of the TCC members within that county. And so we looked at this list at our October meeting, and what you see on your screen and what was in your packet was the roster as of the end of 2024. So in Brunswick County, the expiring positions were Jeff Rep from St. James as voting member, with Matt Kirkland from Oak Island as his alternate. In Columbus County, the expiring terms were Robert Lewis from White Bull as voting member, with Damon Kimsky from Lake Waccamaw as the alternate. Also, Jason Robinson from Chadburn, his term was expiring. When we get to the kind of cleanup of this, we had an imbalance in the years for our terms. And so I'll get to that in a second. And then in Pender County, Amy Kimes from Surf City was the voting member, and Doug Shipley from Topsail as the alternate. Their terms were expiring at the end of 2024. So there are no term limits. People can be reappointed as many times as they are willing to participate, and to the wishes of the other county members. And so the way that we're going to handle this is I'm just going to go county by county to determine, and we did this via email, but we just need to verify it here in our TCC meeting just to keep everything in order. So in Brunswick County, this one we considered 2 options, and I wanted to leave it to the members of Brunswick County that are present today to help decide. So for the 2025 to 26 term, one option was to reappoint the members as is. Jeff Rep from St. James is voting, Matt Kirkland from Oak Island as alternate. Matt has also expressed an interest in being the voting member, and so a second option would be to swap the appointments. And so at this time, I'd like to open it for discussion or a motion from our Brunswick County members as to which of these options you'd like to settle for the roster.
I guess, are Jeff and Matt both on the, at the meeting today?
No, ma'am. Neither of them are online.
You said that Matt had expressed an interest. Have you had any conversation with Jeff?
Yes, I did. I touched base with Jeff, and Jeff said that if Matt was interested in being the voting member, that he was fine with the swap.
Okay.
And I see in the comment in the chat that Nicole has made a motion to swap the appointments. So that would be Matt as voting member and Jeff as alternate.
I would second that motion.
Okay, Helen will second that. I'm just going to do a quick roll call of the 3 of you that are online for that motion, which is Matt to be voting member and Jeff as alternate. So Helen Bunch,
Yes.
Mo Meehan,
Yes.
and Nicole Morgan. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Next is Columbus County. And so again, we had this discussion via email, and the proposal to bring to you today was to renew Robert Lewis as the municipal voting member, and to add Josh Ward from Tabor City as the new alternate. That would be replacing Damon from Lake Waccamaw. And then what I have highlighted here, this would be renewing Jason Robinson from Chadburn but realigning his term with Madison as the alternate, just so that each year we have a voting and an alternate whose term is up. We had it 3 terms expiring and 1 continuing. Really, that's just, I don't know if it's my OCD or what you want to call it, but that's all that proposal is. But again, the main point was to reappoint Jason also as the other voting member. So with that being, I guess, proposed, do we have a motion from the Columbus County group to approve this slate of appointments?
I'll make a motion to approve the changes as presented.
Okay, I have a motion from Robert. Do I have a second?
I second.
And a second from Bridget. Thank you very much. I'll do a quick roll call of the members online. Bridget Spann.
Yes.
I'm going to do voting members and alternate, so everybody that's on. So I'm also going to call Dylan Bowen.
Yes.
Thank you. Robert Lewis
Yes.
and Josh Ward.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. And then our third county, Pender County. Again, as discussed via email, the proposal is to renew Amy Kimes and Doug Shipley's appointments as they were voting an alternate, respectively, just as they were at the end of 2024, and renew that moving forward. Do we have a motion to approve that?
I motion to approve that, Sam.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion from Trissell
Second, Sam.
and a second from Amy. Thank you very much. I'll do a quick roll call. Amy Kimes,
Yes, sir.
Ron Meredith,
Yes.
and Trissell Merritt.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, good deal. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so now at this point, I'm going to stop talking for a few minutes and hand it over to Kim, who I believe is online with us today from NCDOT's Integrated Mobility Division for a presentation. So if I stop sharing,
Hi
then
everyone, can y'all see my screen okay and hopefully hear me?
I can't see your screen yet, but maybe that's
Yeah.
just me.
Let me. Okay, how about now?
There we go.
Okay, perfect. So hi, good morning everyone. My name is Kim Nguyen and I am the Coastal Plains Regional Planner here at IMD. Sam has invited me to talk to you all a little bit about the Integrated Mobility Division, or IMD, just as a refresher, or if you aren't really sure who we are, what we do, and how we can help you in your region and be a resource to y'all. Okay. So before we jump into the specific work that we do at IMD, I want to take a few slides to talk about why our work is important. By 2030, nearly half the population will be in age ranges where driving is either not an option or a diminishing option. Millennials will make up the largest portion of North Carolina population by 2035. Many in this younger age group prefer not to use a vehicle for all of their trips and demand multimodal choices. Many people with disabilities, elderly adults, and those who do not own or drive, it's important that we have accessible choices and options for those who don't feel the need to drive or can't. There are still many unmet transportation needs in our state that we will have to address to be successful in the future. For example, here's a map where each dot represents 20 people without a vehicle in North Carolina. We estimate around 1 million people do not own a vehicle or have other limitations preventing regular access to a vehicle. This is really important to IMD because we want to make sure that everybody has equal opportunities to travel where they need to travel for school or for work, whether it's driving or taking transit, walking, biking, however they need to get there. We want to make sure that they have all the options that they have available and it's safe. So that brings us to our mission and our goals. Our mission is to provide leadership for safe, affordable, and innovative multimodal transportation throughout North Carolina. We were two divisions. Before 2019, we were the public transit division and the bike and ped division. But we merged, seeing that we had similar goals, and just consolidated and streamlining operations to prioritize planning for complete door-to-door trips. So that first mile, last mile trip. And like I talked before, our core goals, things that we achieve daily or try to, is to increase access, to eliminate those transportation barriers for all of North Carolinians, to enhance the quality of life. So whether it be recreational trails or improving parks, we work with, different health departments and parks and rec communities to make sure that we have trails not just for enjoyment purposes, but also if you use trails or multi-use paths to travel daily. And then a big one is to ensure safety. So having a sidewalk to walk on or a separated bike lane, having different safety measures to make sure that all modes of transportation are safe. As we expand multimodal options, we concurrently have to make the network safer for pedestrians, bicyclists, and transit riders. So I talked a lot about safety, our safety goals, but we want to make sure that we continue to improve safety, and it's one of our core goals at the front of our minds. North Carolina regularly ranks in the top 10 nationally for pedestrian and bicyclist fatalities. We want to improve that metric. So we're doing everything that we can to make sure that, bicycle and pedestrian fatalities are at a zero. We work a lot with our Vision Zero partners and making sure that plans and opportunities to build bicycle and pedestrian facilities are safe for all users. I'm going to just go into a little bit about our organizational chart. I'm not going to go through the whole detailed division, but I'm just going to be focusing on the planning and programming portion of our division because that's where I am. So under the planning and programming branch, we have the regional planners and the statewide planners. The statewide planner, Hart Evans, they mostly do TDM, locally coordinated plan, the whole statewide initiatives. Versus regional planning, we focus more on collaborating with the communities that we serve, getting in touch with and partnering and being in communication with the MPOs and the RPOs that we serve, like the Cape Fear RPO, and just really making sure that we know our area and we know who the right contacts are. If there is a project going on or there's an opportunity for us to get involved in, we want to make sure that we have the right people to talk to. So here you can see our regional planning side. We have 4 regional planners, the mountains, the Western Piedmont, the Eastern Piedmont, and the coastal plains. So I am in charge of the coastal plains. I regularly travel out to the coastal plains for meetings or for plans. And then we did have 3 other regional planners, but we are a little bit short-staffed right now. So if I hear about any contacts and you need contacts for the mountains region or the Western Piedmont, Eastern Piedmont, I will update that and send that out to you. So here's just a general look at our current multimodal transit planning initiatives. We have funding opportunities, different funding opportunities that you can reach out to our finance team, our grant specialist team at IMD. And then I'm going to be talking a little bit more about our planning initiatives. So we have different planning initiatives such as the transit services, our multimodal planning grants, which is our bread and butter, what we do most 80% of the time. We also work with different regional transit partners to come up with transit plans for them. We do visioning workshops, training workshops. We have lots of training for our transit services. We do occasionally do paved trails feasibility studies, and we completed just last year our microtransit feasibility studies. That's making sure that if you need microtransit in your area or you think that you need microtransit, making sure that we do a plan to make sure that it's even feasible in your area. Having access to transit is super important. Like we talked about, not everybody in North Carolina has a car or can drive a car. Different disabilities can make that, challenging. So we want to make sure that you have the option to go where you need to go. And then lastly, our bicycle helmet initiative, which I am also in charge of. Just doing a quick little plug in there. Our bicycle helmet initiative closes next week. So if you haven't put out your application for free bicycle helmets for your community, I would recommend doing so because it's free helmets and you can distribute them throughout your community, host an event or go to a school or pass them out and make sure that, kids ride their bicycles safely with a helmet. So like I talked about, the bread and butter of what the planning team does at IMD, we do our multimodal planning grants. So every year we have an application that goes out to all municipalities and counties asking if they would like an update to their bicycle and pedestrian plan, or if they, just need a whole new one, if they just want to redo a whole new comprehensive plan, we offer those. It's a great way for your community to have that plan in order to secure funding for the design and the construction of the plan later on. Having this planning, document can, help and assist with grants that you might be looking for. And it can also, open your eyes to the needs and the disconnection in your area. So if you, have a sidewalk that goes from point A to point B, but there's a gap in the middle where there's no sidewalk, or it's hard for pedestrians or bicyclists to travel, that's outlined in your plan. So maybe we can address that later on. And just the needs in your community. If, people in your community have addressed that they want certain bicycle and pedestrian facilities, there's an opportunity for them to speak out in our survey so that we can include that in the plan as well. To this date, we have completed 266 plans across North Carolina. That is 260 municipalities and 6 counties. So how it works is a municipality or a county will turn in a local match, and then IMD will provide the other portion of it. I think it's 80/20. Um, so depending on how much your population is. So if you have a smaller population, your local match might be smaller, and there's a formula to calculate that. So even if you are a larger county, it's still beneficial to apply to this grant because you're not paying the full 100% of the cost to complete this plan if you were to do it straight through a consultant. And then just another benefit is having IMD basically in your pocket and saying, you know, we want to do a certain this way, and what do you guys think? And then having our expertise and our guidance throughout the whole process to, you know, basically help and assist wherever we can. So like I talked about, having a plan to get to your engineering and design and construction. Most of the time, this is how bicycle and pedestrian transit infrastructure gets built in North Carolina by NCDOT. Is we have a plan first, and then we go through the feasibility of it, and then it goes through engineering and design and construction through the division engineers. We don't necessarily, you know, get to interact with the division at their level, but we assessed the needs that needs to go into the community, bicycle and pedestrian wise, and then, you know, it's up to the community whether they want to go a certain route or secure funding for different opportunities. So we have a lot of different roles and responsibilities at IMD, but I'm particularly going to talk about my role as your regional planner. So I talked about multimodal consultation. I'm here if anybody needs, you know, questions about bike and ped guidelines, recommended widths, and then if you need help with a complete streets question or the STIP formula, we are here to answer all of your questions if you need any assistance from us. And then planning studies, we offer different, you know, planning grant initiatives, programs, feasibility studies. Sometimes every now and then we'll have some one-off studies, such as those paved trails feasibility studies and the microtransit ones. Those are a little bit, you know, one-offs, but we do have regular planning grants, and it's important to be connected with IMD just in case those further initiatives come out so that we can send it y'all your way. And if I know that there is a need or a want in your community to do a certain thing, you know, it's going to be right there. And then if the opportunity comes up, I'll just, you know, Cape Fear RPO has a great interest in this. Let's send it their way. And then just general coordination. So I'm always on, or I always try to be on these TCC meetings and TAC meetings just to build a relationship with the local agencies and communities, and then share what's going on regionally through our multimodal activity and priorities, any grants that might be coming up. We tend to share updates as much as we can. So our current projects and programs, again, we have a lot going on at IMD, but this is just from the planning side, from what I am doing, what kind of relates to Cape Fear RPO. So we've done a lot. I've done a lot of bike and ped plans recently. We completed the Wrightsville Beach one. We did the Wave Transit in Wilmington, their EV transition plan. We did a lot of paved trails feasibility studies that finished last year. We're wrapping up a lot of our statewide transit EV transition plans. So we had a need for those transit directors that reached out to us and said, is it even possible to switch to EV buses right now? And we did a whole plan and made sure that we identified if it was feasible in their region. And then, like I talked about, our microtransit feasibility studies, we are finished with Hoke area transit service and the Onslow United Transit Service. We are still working on our Wilson County one. So if anybody is interested in any of those plans, you can always reach out to me and I'll send you the completed plan. And then what we have ongoing is more bicycle and pedestrian plans. And then we have some upcoming multimodal planning grants for the next year, specifically to the Cape Fear RPO. The town of Oak Island and the town of Southport were awarded the application for this year to start. So just waiting on contracting to be done on our side, and then getting in touch with consultants to make sure that we have a smooth kickoff start, and just getting all of the documentation that we need in the background to work with y'all. And then I talked a lot about our regional transit plans we've been working on in different parts of the state, and then our bicycle helmet initiative. So I talked a lot about my role in consultation on special topics. So if you have any questions about local bike ped plans in your area or road diets, I know a lot of these words are confusing, or if you have a question from the public that you don't know how to answer, or if there's an initiative in the works, I am your main point of contact. Please feel free to reach out to me, whatever needs you may have. And if I don't have the answer, I will either find it for you or point you in the right direction. And I just wanted to say how much IMD values our partnership with the different communities, with the different counties. And one of the main points and goals of our regional planning team is to have that connection and have that relationship with our MPOs and our RPOs, making sure we have, a presence just in case you may need us one day or we may need you one day. So I look forward to working with you all in the future, and I welcome any questions, comments, and concerns. Thank you.
Kim, does anybody have any questions for Kim at this time? Not seeing any. I'll just also kind of add a follow-up. Kim mentioned that both Southport and Oak Island are getting ready to start the planning process from the multimodal planning grants that they got last year. When I was working with both Mo and Matt on those applications, Kim was a fantastic resource and very helpful throughout that process. And so I would encourage you, if you have interest in that or anything to do with IMD, they're always great contacts to reach out to, always very helpful. I will be sure to get these slides from Kim and send them out so that everyone has access to that. Probably what I'll do is I'll send an email with them, and they'll be posted with the rest of the meeting materials on the RPO website. But just want everybody to know that, so you'll have access to all this good stuff. And if we don't have any other questions, then reshare my screen. Hopefully everybody can see that again. And we're just going to keep on rolling. So on that topic, where'd we go? The next item on our agenda is conveniently resolutions of support for IMD's multimodal planning grant program for this next cycle. That will be coming up here in the next month or two. And there have already been several municipalities across the RPO, Burgaw, Chadburn, Surf City, and Tabor City, who have interest in working on an application. And so I've been coordinating that with those 4 communities. And as part of that application, again, this is kind of looking ahead just a little bit because the applications aren't ready and submitted yet, but they'll likely be due at the end of March, and we won't meet again till April. And so I've prepared resolutions of support from the RPO to go to each of these 4 towns as part of their application package to IMD. And so I would entertain a request, a motion to recommend approval of these resolutions to the TAC when they meet next Friday.
Stephanie Ayers, I make a motion.
Okay, Stephanie Ayers, thank you.
Second.
Second from Helen. Any other questions, comments? Okay, seeing none, let me roll call real quick. Helen Bunch,
Yes.
Mo Meehan,
Yes.
Nicole Morgan, Bridget Spann,
Yes.
Robert Lewis,
Yes.
Josh Ward,
Yes.
Amy Kimes,
Yes.
Ron Meredith,
Yes.
Adrian Cox,
Yes.
Philip Hart,
Yes.
Nazia Sarter,
Yes.
Greer Templar,
Yes.
Elizabeth Tucker. Gotcha. Tricelle Merritt,
Yes.
Stephanie Ayers,
Yes.
and Sam Boswell, yes. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. The next item is another resolution of support for the NC Ports, their application to USDOT's Port Infrastructure Development Grant. Stephanie, I don't know if you want to add any extra context to this.
Sure. So this is a USDOT Port Infrastructure Development Grant application to build essentially a parking lot outside of the port terminal that would have a pedestrian bridge over rail tracks that would land employees inside the port. And then there would be a shuttle service that would take them to the area where they would get their equipment or their workspace. What this would do would take about 250 private vehicles off the terminal, improving safety and allowing us to improve, our ability to the velocity of how fast we can move freight in and out of the port. So we don't know what the status of the federal grant programs are going to be moving forward after what we learned on January 20th and over the last couple of weeks. But this grant program was released prior, and we are preparing our application in anticipation of funding being available. So we'd appreciate your support.
Thanks, Stephanie. And as usually goes, anything that is an improvement to the port is a benefit to our region, and so we're always supportive of the grants that Stephanie and her crew go after. So I would request a motion to recommend approval of this to the TAC when they meet next week.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval.
Awesome, thank you. Who was the second from?
Greer.
Greer, awesome, thanks. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, the roll call real quick. Helen Bunch,
Yes.
Mo Meehan,
Yes.
Nicole Morgan, yes. Bridget Spann,
Yes.
Robert Lewis,
Yes.
Josh Ward,
Yes.
Amy Kimes,
Yes.
Ron Meredith,
Yes. Yes.
oh, lost my place. Adrian Cox,
Yes.
Philip Hart,
Yes.
Nazia Sarter, Nazia Sarter.
Sorry, yes.
Oh, gotcha. Thanks. Greer Templar.
Yes.
Elizabeth Tucker. Gotcha. Thank you. Tricell Merritt.
Yes.
Stephanie Ayers.
Yes.
And Sam Boswell. Yes. Good deal. Okay. So that concludes our action items portion of the agenda. And so the next set of stuff we got are just reports. So the first being from me, from the RPO. So in your packet, you've got a couple of things. You've got a few pages that are revisions to the current STIP, the State Transportation Improvement Program. All of those are either cost adjustments or scheduling changes. You have them in your packet. I'm not going to go through those one by one, but if you have any questions, by all means, please let me know. Those are adjustments that happen routinely. And so I just wanted to provide those for you. The other item before I get ahead of myself, just a reminder, it's in your packet and it's here on the screen, our meeting schedule for this calendar year, 2025. TCC meetings are usually the first Wednesday of the month, and we usually meet every other month, with some exceptions. Obviously, later in the year, we meet in back-to-back months, October and November. But it's usually the first Wednesday of the month at 10:30, and then we meet via Zoom. Usually, I also have the conference room here at the COG reserved. We had scheduling conflicts today, so that wasn't the case. But anyone who would like to get out of their office and come join me here, you're more than welcome to. I sent out a bunch of calendar invitations back around the holidays, and so I realized they could have gotten lost in the mix of your inbox. If these dates aren't on your calendar, please let me know. I will resend those calendar invitations that have the Zoom links and everything. I will send that back to you. So yeah, just let me know. Okay, the next thing is just, was it last week before? I don't know, very recently, NCDOT released a draft version of the next STIP, so the 2026 to 2035. This is the STIP that contains the results of the prioritization 7.0 process that we spent a lot of our time last year and the last 2 years submitting projects, assigning local priorities to those projects. So the draft version of that was just released, I think, last week. After this meeting, I will send you, if you didn't get any type of press release about it already, I will send you a link to it so that you can access the full document on your own. If you would like to go through it line by line, which is a lot of fun. But I'm going to give you some highlights on some project changes between the current STIP, which is the 24 to 33, and then this new draft version. Again, it's just a draft at this point. Going through kind of a public comment phase and isn't slated to be approved by the Board of Transportation until later this summer in July, I think. So first, a couple of things that are no longer listed in the STIP. So the widening of 211 from Sunset Harbor Road to Midway, the current STIP, 24 to 33, that project is listed, but it's not funded. And so in this new draft STIP, they just removed that line item from the STIP. That doesn't really change anything. It's just not listed in there. It's still on our project submittal lists. It was a project that we submitted and that we put local priority points on. The same or similar goes for the two projects at the bottom, widening NC 53 in Pender County, as well as the US 17 and NC 210 intersection near Surf City. Those were projects that were listed in the current STIP that are no longer in this new version, in this new draft. Those projects were not funded, so that's not a change in the funding. The project for the US 17 and NC 211 interchange in Brunswick County, that project was funded for design or for preliminary engineering is how it'll be listed in the STIP document. that project has been removed from the STIP. Same with the widening of NC 87 in Columbus County from NC 11 to US 7476. That was funded for design and is no longer funded. Now, as for better news, as you'll recall, that there was not funding available in many of the STIP categories. There was, however, some funding for projects being submitted from Columbus County, and two of the airport projects that we submitted at the Columbus County Municipal Airport, both a runway extension project and a runway safety and widening project. Those were both funded for design. So not for right-of-way or construction yet, but they are added to this draft STIP and funded for design or preliminary engineering is how it'll be worded in the STIP. Again, this is a draft. It will be available for public comment throughout the spring, and then will be presented for adoption to the Board of Transportation this summer. Do you have any questions right off the bat about this draft STIP right now? I can't promise I'll have the answers, but we'll try. Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to keep going. The last thing I've got from my updates, also in your packet, is a draft version of our FY 25-26 planning work program. This is essentially the RPO's budget. We get an allocation from DOT each year, and then we have the PWP document is what I log all the planning activities that the RPO does, and across the different categories the DOT asks us to kind of split up our time between. So there's been no change. Our budget of $153,000 is the same in FY26 that it is currently in this year, FY25. This is not an amount that changes often. Back in the summer of 23, it went up, but that was the first time that it had changed in several years. So this is not something that usually changes. And similar with our allotments across our different line items, those usually don't change much. But this is just a draft. I wanted to get it out to you. If you wanted to take a look at it and look through it, I'll be bringing this back in April for approval and getting it to DOT by their deadline, which is usually in May. So there's no action to be done here. Just wanted to get you information ahead of time. So if you wanted to look through it, you've got it there. Those are my updates. Does anybody have any questions for me before I hand it off to some of our other planning partners? Okay, seeing none. Stephanie, do you have any other updates for us today besides the PID grant?
We have a very aggressive construction agenda, a lot of infrastructure projects underway on the port. Of course, a number of those are federal grant funded, so we're very hopeful that those projects will continue to be funded. But we just have a lot going on. It's a lot of good stuff, and we continue to grow. So appreciate your support.
Absolutely. We love to hear it. See, I don't see Kat on the line from the ferry division, and she didn't send me anything ahead of time, so I don't think we have an update from the ferry today. See, Adrian, I'm going to turn it over to you for Division 3 updates, and I'm going to let you take over the screen.
Great, thank you. Can everyone hear me okay now? You got me, Sam?
I can hear you. I don't see your screen yet, though.
Okay. I also wanted to mention, so good presentation on the STIP information. Just wanted to also mention that we have a division has a public information drop-in the week of February 17th, so Monday through Friday, the 17th through the 21st.
Awesome. I'll make sure I include that when I send out information about the draft STIP. Thank you for that reminder.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so you can see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So thank you, everyone. Division 3 just wanted to share some updates with you all. Let's see if I'm going to be able to do this the way I think. So as part of our updates, you have the projects in development. For 2025, we have some bridge preservation. I'm sorry, I can't talk. Over the Intercoastal Waterway with lighting on that bridge. And also a bridge replacement on NC 53 over Angola Creek. The projects that are currently in construction, we have the project with NC 211 widening from Midway to NC 87. The grading is ongoing and finishing the open cut sewer at Dutchman Creek. There were some delays on this project as a result of the unnamed tropical storm back in, I think, September. But we are a little over halfway in construction progress on this project. Your next project is in Pender County. As you can see, we're working on NC 210. We have the bridge replacement over Long Creek, and we're about 40% complete on this project. We also have the bridge replacement over Sandhill Creek. That just kicked off not too long ago, and so we're doing all the basics of detour install, clearing, grubbing complete, and that's about 4% complete. This is the next project. It hasn't really, the contract is not finalized, so I can't tell you when the work is going to begin or how much it is right now. But this is the project, so you have an idea of where it is for East Moore Street over the Price Creek north of 211. And if anybody needs additional information, hopefully I'll have some of that for you soon. Moving on to our resurfacing and maintenance projects, although this information was gathered in January to meet the deadlines, it didn't change really for February too much, so that's why we have the same January information. The only project that is of note that I want to bring to your attention is the second one on the list, NC 130 and various secondary routes. We added the widening of Town Creek Road by 2 feet, so just wanted you all to be aware. It's about 80% complete, and we're hoping to complete that soon. The other project that I'd like to bring to your attention is the third project, our contract number C204924, with sections of NC 53 and secondary roads. Again, 17 miles of NC 53 had a 2-foot widening and resurfacing. That's still only about 21% complete because the paving was on hold for weather, and everything else is accurate on this information. And as everyone knows, you can go to our public portal, NC Go NC, I said that backwards. And you can see our maps in real time, so there's transparency there. So if you have questions and need to know where things are, it's really good as far as visual aid for everyone. And that's a little bit of what that map looks like. So you can see the difference in the POs that represent our areas and the resurfacing. And that's it for Division 3. If anyone has any questions, please let me know.
Questions for Adrian? Okay. Seeing none, thank you, Adrian. We'll move right along. Philip Hart from Division 6. Updates.
One moment. I'll share my screen. All right. Everyone can see?
Yes, sir.
All right. So don't have a large portion of the Cape Fear River RPO, but this is Columbus County. It's our division and Division 6, District 3. Just this kind of area here to the west. So just to kick off a couple of these projects here, we've got R22 or 2561 CA. This is our NC 87, NC 11. I would say interchange or intersection type roadway project. We've got utility relocations and ramp grading in progress. The construction on NC 87 bridge over Wyman's Creek is ongoing. Traffic's been shifted to the on-site detour of NC 11. And just noting a few of the reduced conflict intersections along the Y lines that are kind of highlighted on the paper or on the sheet here. 39% complete with estimated completion in late 2026. Our next project is R5020B. This is our US 701 bypass over in the Whiteville area. This is from Virgil Avenue to US 7476. We've got, grading, drainage, paving, culvert signals. The project is functional, complete. We've lacked final pavement, marking, signing, and that will come in the spring, or if temperatures rise and we can get to it before then. So right now we're at 83% complete with estimated completion sooner than what we're noting above here in the top right. So hopefully that'll be complete here in a few months. Our next projects, US 74, US 76, Chauncey Town Road, that's an Old Lake Road. We're doing at-grade intersections being converted to interchange and overpasses. It's open, the interchange, the service road and Old Lake overpass, they're open and or completed and open to traffic. We've still got some work going on at the roundabout there at NC 214, Chauncey Town Road and Fleming Drive. All right, we're at almost 80% complete with completion roughly a year from now. Our next project is HI 0015. This is US 74 future I-74 west of NC 214, west of Water Tank Road, which is SR 1824. There's approximately 5 miles complete prior to the seasonal limitations on paving. We're expecting to be complete on this in the spring of 25. We're roughly 50%, 46% complete with completion in the fall of 25. But we're ahead of schedule. We're hope to finish this before that. So our next project is a bridge replacement over Western Prawn Creek. I guess for all reporting purposes, we're complete here on this. We're just kind of doing some closeout type work. So this will be removed for our future report. Just kind of providing it as information item. And then we've got work going on at our Columbus County Municipal Airport. We're probably a little further along than 85% on this. So as we got noted here, there's some incidental items being completed with fencing, vegetation, things of that nature. I'm not 100% sure on any type of paving work, but if there's any type of final service, that will come when the temperature's warm. So that should be wrapping up soon. This is a new project that has been added to the list, or at least the title sheet portion of a report. This is the NV 0006 in Tabor City. This will be sidewalk and some center intersection improvements or signalized intersection crossing. It's kind of hard to see, but the white line projected over the aerial image is mostly what this project consists of. It's a non-LAP carbon reduction funded project that the department will be letting and administering and providing construction oversight on. So that's estimated to be complete approximately a year from now. So we'll get a little more information on this as things start progressing. This is our active HMIP highway maintenance improvement plan. Ties to a lot of our resurfacing type work or maintenance work. I'm not going to go over every one of these, but we've got a list of routes and distances and types of work that are being done. If you have additional interest or want to know some more details on this, please feel free to reach out. Adrian kind of alluded to the NC, what's it called? The HMIP, the online database that you can reference. So it has a lot of these routes identified for maintenance work. So the Go portal. And then here's a list of our future projects in the area with tip numbers and some descriptions and cost associated with them. Again, if you have any questions on any of these, please reach out and we'll get some additional information. And then this is our kind of our larger roadway type projects. Again, there's not a whole lot of information here. There's some future years for right away and let, but those are unfunded. So I put two on this. So we didn't portray any kind of unrealistic expectation, but they are projects, but they are not identified in the current step. So again, my information is at the bottom of the page. If you have any questions, please reach out.
Thanks, Philip. Does anybody have any questions for Philip in Division 6 at this time?
Oh, one more thing. As to what Adrian was speaking about earlier, the STEP is open for public comment. Division 6 will be hosting, a week-long session the week of February the 24th through the 28th, and that's from 8 to 5 at our division office here at 558 Gillespie Street in Fayetteville. And I can provide that information to you, Sam, so you can include it.
Awesome. Perfect. That'd be great. Yeah, I'll include all that in a post-meeting kind of follow-up. That'd be great. Okay. Thanks, Philip. Next set of updates from TPD, Nausea.
Thanks, Sam. Yeah, so I have a few updates for a few CTPs. For Brunswick County CTP, as many of you know, that CTP was adopted last year and has been closed out and is available online if anyone wants to look at it. What we're working on right now is trying to get paper copies to the adopted and endorsed agencies. So Sam and I have been working on reviewing those and getting those out. So I'm hoping to do that in the next few weeks, get it out to everyone. Columbus County CTP, I've been told that there was a status check with some of the steering committee members, particularly division and the RPO. During that meeting, several items were discussed, particularly rail multi-use path recommendations and plans for re-engaging the steering committee to start the adoption process, as well as strategies for public engagement, draft maps, and so on and so forth. So various categories were discussed. The CTP engineers and the RP are working on re-engaging the steering committee beginning of this year, and they plan to host a public meeting. They plan to update the CTP after that, and then finalize adoption timelines based on committee and public feedback. Pender County CTP is still ongoing. We will be meeting on February 24th. That will be our next meeting to go over survey results that we collected from fall of last year. And then finally, just a quick heads up about the Wilmington travel demand model. That is ready for MPO project testing, and we will be running various scenarios for the MPO so that they can get everything ready for the MTP, which is due end of this year, or yes, this year, 2025. That's where we're at. Everything else is in the packet on page 38. So if any of you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah. Yeah, just extra clarification for Columbus County, since I know that Nazio is sharing those reports, but different engineers in TPD are helping with that plan. I met with them on Monday, and so later this week, once we got this meeting out of the way, I'll send out some news to those of you in Columbus County who either were on the steering committee or, now that we're resuming, kind of will be added to the steering committee now regarding next steps and getting things going again with Columbus County. There have been individual meetings, but we want to get the full group together. So more news to come there. But otherwise, does anybody have any questions for Nazia at this time regarding any of the different CTP processes going on? Okay, seeing none, we'll keep going. Kim, I don't know if you have any extra items to add. You gave us such a good presentation earlier. I think you probably covered everything.
Thank you, Sam. No, I don't have any extra updates, just one last push for the bicycle helmet initiative and then finishing up any multimodal planning grant activities that we're already in the process of. But yeah.
Awesome. Thanks. Greer, do you have any updates from the Wilmington MPO to share with us today?
Hey, Sam, I do have a few updates. So as Nazia had mentioned, we are still underway with the development of our 2050 MTP. So we are trudging full steam ahead. Public engagement round 2 will be occurring at some point early this summer. So I'll make sure next time we come around to keep you guys abreast of everything going on. Other than that, as of this Monday, the Gullah Geechee Heritage Trail feasibility study has been adopted by not only the WMPO's board, but also the 4 member jurisdictions that were involved in the development of the plan. That includes Brunswick County, the town of Leland, the town of Navassa, and the town of Belleville. So great success on that front. And similar to Stephanie, so the WMPO has been working for the past couple of months on an application to USDOT's PROTECT program, promoting resilient operations for transformative, efficient, and cost-saving transportation. We are seeking out that funding with the goal of developing a resiliency improvement plan for our planning area boundary. Again, there's a lot of stuff has come down with the changes of administration, but the NOFO is still live. We are still charting full steam ahead and we'll be submitting an application prior to the deadline. I think those are the big updates I have for the time being. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Greer. Next, Elizabeth, do you have any GSETS updates for us today? Or actually, I guess just now remembering that your mic wasn't working. For those of you who don't know, Mark, who was the previous director at GSATS, retired at the start of the new year. And Elizabeth is now our point of contact and director over at the Grand Strand MPO, or GSATS. So if you have any questions, her contact information is on the screen. I don't know, Elizabeth, if you're in the process of throwing anything in the chat, but that's their, I guess, administrative update. And so we look forward to working with Elizabeth for our kind of shared area there in Brunswick County. Okay, so that, unless something else comes in from Elizabeth in the chat, that concludes all of the updates we had listed on the agenda. Last item we keep on there is open discussion. If anybody else has any questions, comments, anything you want to bring up for the good of the group before we adjourn, does anybody have anything that you want to toss out there? Okay. Seeing none, then we'll wrap this up so you all can go get yourself some lunch. Thanks everybody for being here today. We are now adjourned. We will meet next on April 2nd. So 2 months from now. In the meantime, if you have any questions, let me know. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Sam. Everybody have a good day.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.